No. All right, John. It's good. John, Tim Graves.
Hi, John.
Good to meet you, John.
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
Thank
Looks
you.
like I was watching you hit a couple bunker shots here. It looked like you were having some difficulty getting them out of the bunker.
You're right
Okay.
at that.
Question for you, and I'm going to ask you this question. If you're on the golf course playing golf right now, and you had a shot of the bunker, so you hadn't played, you played 3 or 4 or 5 holes and you had a bunker shot, what would be your goal? If you got in a bunker right now, what would be your goal? So we want to hit it. What would you want to do with the shot?
Get it out of the bunker.
Get it out of the bunker. You see, that's most people's goal. They want to get the ball out of the bunker, because here's the deal. When you get into a bunker like this, the USGA will actually classifies this as a hazard. Okay, so this is supposed to cost you half a shot. The golf will tell you this is supposed to cost you half a shot. But as golfers, what we want to do is we just want to get the ball out of the bunker, get it so it's not cost us more than a half a shot. Am I right?
Right.
In fact, and I'm going to give you a little number here, John. If you look at PGA Tour statistics, okay, the best player in the world only gets the ball up and down half of the time. And what I mean by half of the time is they'll get it up on the green, they'll one putt it in only 50% of the time. So now, are we PGA Tour players? I mean, no.
I'm not.
And remember, what PGA Tour players do is they practice every single day, out of the bunker every day. They have perfect, so I'm going to ask you this question before we get in. I'm going to give you a little lesson here, but I'm going to ask you this question. If you walked into a bunker, okay, and you were on tour and it was perfect sand, okay, you practice every single day, you worked on your bunker game every single day, you'd say maybe I have a 50-50 chance to get it up and down. Do we play out of perfect sand?
No.
Do we practice it every single day?
No.
So
never.
what do you think our chance of getting it on the green, one putting it in is? What do you think it is?
5%.
5%. I agree. No, I agree. In fact, that's probably pretty high. Okay. No, I agree. It's good. So what we need to do is we need to figure out a way to get this ball out of the sand every single time, and let's even get it on the green every single time. See, that's the key.
Okay.
And right now, the number one issue you have is the equipment you're using, or we're using a conventionally made wedge. And there's a couple issues here. Number one, you're hitting a club that's got some graphite in it. Okay.
Right.
Not enough weight to get the ball out of the bunker. You're gonna have to swing it way too hard. The second thing is that when you use a conventionally made wedge, I have one here. It's a conventionally made Titleist. You have one down here. Let me see yours real quick. It's a Cobra. Yeah, so it's a conventionally made wedge. What we have to do is we have to create a lot of bounce on this club. And when we create bounce, you literally have to stand open. You have to get the club set open. You got to cut across it. You got to put all these finagles. You got to do these funny things to get the ball out. And guess what? Requires a ton of practice, perfect sand, the best players in the world, and they only do it what? 50% of the time.
50%, right.
So Moe hated that. And I'll be honest with you, Moe didn't like that. He didn't like those odds, okay? And when he'd hit it in a bunker, he said, okay, I want to get something that gets the ball out much easier for me. And what he did is and it was kind of interesting, my brother played at Augusta National with Moe, and Moe had this funny looking wedge in his bag, okay? And it was called, and Moe brought it out, and Todd said, what is this thing? Moe goes, this is my Sandy Andy. He says, this is my sand wedge. And Todd goes, what is that? And Moe goes, it's a club I found years ago that helps me get out of the bunker. And Todd goes, well, let me see what you did here. Let me show you I did that. And what Moe did is he set up with the shot, and he just hit one straight down the line at the hole. He didn't do all this finagling, getting open, cutting across it. So he's hit it down the hole. And that's what we're going to work on with you today, okay? So I actually have a Moe wedge here for you. I actually have a left-handed one here for you.
Yes, okay.
Okay? So we're going to take that. I'm going to grab your club, okay? And now, here's what we're going to do. And I know you've heard me talk a lot about pitching. You've probably seen my material.
Yes,
You've seen me talking. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. Pitching isn't very difficult, is it? Is pitching very hard?
No.
Seems pretty easy, doesn't it?
Yes.
That's what we're going to do here. Because what Moe couldn't do is Moe did not like to cut across the ball. He always wanted to throw his club in his hands at the target. He always said, if I want to go from here to there, I want the hands to go straight at the target. So that's what we're going to do with you, okay? So here's what I've done. I've given you the Moe wedge. Now what the Moe wedge has, let's talk about this for a second. Number one, it's got a steel shaft. Okay? So if you look at the Moe wedge here, the steel shaft, we got some weight. That's going to help you get it out. Number two is it's got bounce built in the head. So there's already 20 degrees of bounce built in this head. So now we don't have to create all this funny bounce or hit it sideways out of the bunker. We can just swing towards the target. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Okay.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a short game board. I'm going to help you out a little bit here. And what we're going to do is we're going to line that up at the target. Okay? Now we're going to take the Moe, we're going to take the club, take the ball, we're going to set it down. You're going to take that club, and all you're going to do now is you're going to focus. And what I want to do now is I just want you to take and hit sand out of this bunker. So I want you to come up, and I want you just to take sand and try to hit sand out of the bunker. So when we hit this shot, we're not going to touch that golf ball. I want you to hit about 1 inch or 2 behind it, do 1 inch or 2 through it, okay, and just clear that sand out of the bunker. Now, when you do this, think about trying to take that sand and throw it up on the green, okay? And swing pretty hard at this. I want you to be able to do that. Be aggressive with the shot. Good. That was good. Now, we got out of the bunker, didn't we?
Yeah, we
now,
got it out.
here's what happened. And it was good. You hit a little behind it, you got a little out, so guess what? It didn't cost us that half a shot. That's great. But the next thing we want to do is what? We want to get it on the green. We want to hit a little bit further. So, think of it this way. Sand absorbs between 80 and 90% of the shot. Okay? So if you were only going to hit this club, let's say 50 yards, how hard would you have to hit it 20 yards? You have to swing it pretty hard, wouldn't you? Okay, so here's what I want you to do. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to put a line behind it. We're going to put a line in front of it. That's the sand I want you to clear out. Now we're going to do the same thing, swing it a little bit harder, taking that sand, hitting towards the flag.
So just hit the line there? Though?
Absolutely. Just hit that line behind it and try to get that sand out of the bunker again. Perfect. Look at that. That's actually up by the hole. That's fantastic. So now did you swing it that a little bit harder?
Yes.
Took a little bit more sand?
Yes.
Did you swing at the target?
Yes.
That was just like a pitch, wasn't it?
Well, it was, yeah, just
straight. Just swing right down the line. So guess what we're going to do this time? That was really, really good. You know what we're going to do this time? We're going to focus on just keeping our feet, just like a pitch, on the ground. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to move the hips and throw the hands at the target. And as we're going to do this, you can actually focus now. That's the target line. You can actually focus on that ball going right out of the hole, right out of the sand, right towards that target. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Let's do that again. So I'm going to set it down. Again, I'm going to draw a line behind it like we did, a line in front of it. Trust the club, because this club won't let you hit it too fat. The bounce is already in the club. Okay, so I always say try to dig a hole out, try to dig this out and swing hard.
Do I go
Sure,
steep?
take as far, well, I'll tell you what, take it as far back as you want, but on this one, what I want you to do is just relax the hands, relax the arms. Just fold the arms up, just like a pitch. Perfect. See what you did there? You fold it up like a pitch. Remember, we talked about that. Pitching's pretty easy, isn't it?
Yes,
in the pitch, good.
it is.
I want you to think about this as a pitch, because that's what Moe thought of. When Moe took this club, he loved hitting pitches. He thought he could hole every pitch he hit. It's exactly what I want you to do here. I want you to fold the arm up, fold the arm through, just hit a pitch right towards it. Beautiful. It's right towards the hole again. Last two right there, about 10 feet from the hole. That was great. Let's do another one. And these aren't easy shots. You're doing a great job here. And in fact, let's even talk about this. You think this is very easy sand you're hitting out of here?
It is. No, it's not.
And it's not very
hard,
easy.
that's
even
hard
tour sand would be better than this, wouldn't it?
Yes.
So
for
this is
sure.
actually pretty hard. This is a pretty tough conditions.
Yes.
So I'll ask you that question again. If you took your conventionally made wedge, you walked in here, and I said, I want you to get this in the green.
I would screw it
like
up.
you said, yeah.
I would screw it up.
Like you said, maybe a 5% chance. Now all of a sudden we take this club, we trust the bounce in it. We say, all I'm gonna do is hit a pitch. I'm gonna throw it up towards that hole. And like Moe said, I wanna pull the flag out with my hands. And you think about that pitch, think it's a little easier to get this out?
Yes.
Let's do it again. There you go, beautiful. See, a little bit longer backswing, right? It's a good job there. One more for me.
I cocked my arm back.
Yeah, exactly. So what you did on that one, the difference was is you folded the trail arm up, is that right? Just like a pitch.
Right.
So one more for me. You're doing a really good job here. Beautiful. Great job. It's up there, it's on the green again by the hole. That's great. Now, so here's what's taught. Let's just kind of finish this up because you're doing a really good job here. Think about this. If you played a round of golf today, and let's say you had 5 bunker shots today, which we do, we'll have 4 or 5 in a round many times, okay?
Right.
Your odds of getting that on the green and one putting in are less than what? Well, you said 5%. I'm going to give you the more credit than that, maybe 10, 15%. But you'd be lucky to get one of those up and down.
Right.
But the key is we've got to do what? We've got to get them all out of the bunker and get them all in the green. So now we can 2-putt at worst, cost us at worst half a shot, okay? That's what this club lets you do because the bounce is built in. And just like Moe said, he didn't like to cut across it because the entire round you're playing golf, you're swinging towards the target. Your hands are towards the line, down the line. This club lets you do that. If you take a conventionally made wedge and try to cut across it, you're not swinging towards the target anymore. It gets too hard, it gets too chaotic, leave the club in. Right. So practicing with this, working with this, is just like a normal pitch, throwing the club at the target, being able to get it out almost every time. Does that make sense? Does that work for you?
That makes sense, and it works. I believe in that.
You believe in it, yeah.
Yes, it works.
You did a really good job, and the key on this again is that it's the overall consistency. You'll see that the club actually gets out much easier, much more consistent.
Yeah, I'm sure with practice I can probably get it out every time.
Absolutely. Moe loved it. In fact, it was kind of a funny story. I'll kind of end the story with that, but it was really kind of funny. Todd was playing Augusta with Moe, and he said he saw it and he wanted to copy it. So he said, can I take this with me? And I want to copy this and trace it and get all the specifications. And Moe told him no. It's one of the only times Moe told Todd no. He said, no, you can't take it. I want to keep this. So Todd traced it and copied it in the car, and we took it, we copied it and made the Sandy Andy out of it. But that's how much he loved that wedge.
Okay.
So it's fantastic. Well, it's great working with you. Okay, work with that club a little bit more. It'll make your bunker game much more easier. Make it a lot less stressful. Play course with a lot of bunkers.
You're right, because right now I try to avoid the sand.
Right, and that's what all our students do. They want to avoid the sand. But think about it. If you hit in the sand, now you can walk in and actually have a little bit of confidence. Know you'll get it out every single time, and that's the key to this club. Don't throw your hands actually at the target. Get it out every single time. Well, thanks, John. Thank you for working with me.
Thank you very much.
You betcha.
Tim. 2 years ago, I was real frustrated with my game. I've been trying natural golf for 12 years almost now, and then I bought the single plane swing manual, and this is my Bible now. I'm following it to the letter, and I'm at the transition stage at this stage. So, and I've seen a drastic improvement in my game, so it's coming. Well, Tim is a great teacher. I've watched him so many times on video and webinar, so it's good. Sandy Andy, it's a great club. I can't believe how easy it is to come out. You know, I mean, I can chip, and if you do the same thing in the sand as Tim showed me, yeah, it should come out every time. So it's a great club. The Sandy Andy feels heavy, bottom heavy. You know, the weight of the club will do the work. I don't feel that I have to do anything. It'll get the ball out. I would like to use the Sandy Andy in my game on a regular basis. It would work the same when the grass is in the sand, and if it does, then just replace my normal sand wedge with the Sandy Andy.
Well, it was great working with John, working on helping him get out of the bunker. And it's always interesting when I get to work with students like this when we get in bunkers, because the first thing I get when I talk to a student is how difficult a bunker shot is, or how scared they are of it, or how little chance they have to get out of the bunker. And it was really exciting when we actually saw Moe and watched him get out of bunkers, and he used the Sandy Andy wedge, because to Moe it was actually fun. Moe, when he hit out of a bunker, it was a creative part of his game that he enjoyed. Nothing scared Moe about the bunker. But the difference with what Moe wanted to do is he wanted to be able to throw the ball right at the target. And he always did that, whether it was a driver, a wedge, or anything he did, he wanted his hands to go towards the target. So he actually found a wedge, the Sandy Andy wedge, that let him do that. Well, when I get to work with my students, like I worked with John, we watch them struggle, because they come in and they're trying to cut across it. They don't know how to use that conventionally made wedge. They really don't have any idea how to get it out. They're not aggressive enough. They get scared and so on, so that they can't get balls out of the bunker. And all of a sudden you put a Sandy Andy wedge in their hand and swinging it right at the target. And then all you got to do is you got to talk to them about not hitting the ball, taking that sand, throwing the sand out of the bunker, and being aggressive. And it's a thing. I mean, we get the Sandy Andy in the hand, but you got to still keep that aggressiveness, because we have been so adapted, and my students have been so adapted to get in the bunker, being scared of the bunker, that they almost de-accelerate. Well, so it's really simple. It's one of the easiest lessons I give, and it's pretty amazing. I put a Sandy Andy in their hand, I get them in the bunker, I say, now be aggressive. And I'll be honest with you, it usually takes 2 or 3 shots to be aggressive, but once I get them aggressive, they can get the ball out of the bunker. They're not scared anymore. And then what ends up happening is they actually will look at me and say, man, I can get it even on the green, I can get it close to the hole. I mean, because their aggressiveness comes back. The last thing about the Sandy Andy, which I think is really cool, is that when we play golf, a typical golf course does not have manicured PGA bunkers. We've got hard sand, we've got soft sand, we've got some wet sand, we've got some dry sand. In fact, you can have bunk with all those conditions. This club lets you play in all those conditions. Because of the bounce built in the club, because of the way it's set up, this club lets you hit out of all those conditions and still be aggressive. And that's the beauty of it. So just like when I worked with John, I got him aggressive, I got him throwing his hands at the target just like he did a pitch. And even during that lesson, John said, all I've really got to do is fold that arm up, on which what he was saying is, I got to get a little more aggressive. Folding that arm up, got him aggressive, throwing that club towards the target, kept that aggressiveness, he got the balls out. And you notice he started getting them out one after another after another. And the last thing I want to say about that is, remember, the bunker game's a hard part of the game. Nobody can expect to get in the bunker and get it out every single time and on the green every single time and close to every single time. But we got to get our odds up. We've got to get them up. That's what the Sandy Andy lets you do. If you have limited amount of practice, you don't practice a lot out of the bunkers, you don't give yourself a lot of time practicing, we're playing typical bunkers you play on public golf courses, this club will get you out much more often than the normal club, will get you much more consistent, and will actually lower your scores, because you won't be leaving that ball in the bunker, you won't be leaving that ball short of it, and so on. It'll get you that green and save you those shots during that round. So again, that's why we use a Sandy Andy wedge. That's why I love teaching with a Sandy Andy wedge. And that's why my students see so much success with the Sandy Andy wedge.